Oh, Wendy, you're still alive.
Yes, I am. And so are you. Well, I thought that maybe you had...
Died? Perished? Been blown to bits?
Yes.
Not a chance. Quite good at not getting killed.
It's no secret that Disney's live-action remakes are less than spectacular. Many of them either copy the original word for word, add unnecessary plotlines, or change the characters so much that the only resemblance they share to the original is in their name. They're evidently inferior to their source material, and hardly stand on their own as an interesting adaptation. Peter Pan and Wendy is no exception. In my opinion, this film wasn't needed because there's already a worthwhile live-action adaptation, Universal Pictures' Peter Pan. Where Disney's remake fails to deliver, Universal succeeds in almost every aspect, providing unique interpretation to Peter Pan while still capturing the essence of the original story.
Come away. Come away to Neverland. What's she saying?
That it's high time we go.
Peter Pan and Wendy has a very drab aesthetic. Every setting in the movie looks washed out and dull. It gives the movie a bleak, dreary atmosphere. If this had been a more melancholy interpretation of Peter Pan, it might make sense. But the movie is supposed to be a fantasy adventure film, and it has very little of either genre. The movie frames the flight to Neverland as this exciting, magical experience, and while it does give some interesting visuals, the dark colors dampen the excitement. Even though Universal's film has more dated effects compared to Disney's, they were still able to better portray the whimsical parts of the story. They use bright, vivid colors that make the flight feel lively and exhilarating. The appeal of Neverland was that it was a place of adventure and wonder, an island from children's dreams. Universal's Neverland is otherworldly and dreamlike, while also mixing realistic elements into the setting to make it feel tangible. There's also some nice details they included from the novel, like how it's winter when Peter leaves Neverland, but becomes spring when he returns. In Disney's remake, the fantasy aspect of Neverland is toned down. There's a glimpse of mermaids, a planet in the sky, and the Lost Boys' home, but that's about it. The setting is beautiful, but it looks exactly like an island you'd visit in real life. It's no surprise everyone wants to leave. The movie overly emphasizes realism, which makes the movie look less visually appealing overall. Even Tinkerbell's glow was omitted because it wasn't realistic, though I'm sure most people wouldn't question why a magical fairy is glowing in the first place.
John! John! I don't know it! There is a boy here who is to teach us to fly!
You offend reason, sir.
Peter Pan and Wendy claims to be based on not just the animated movie, but the novel too. In terms of the novel, the characters in Peter Pan and Wendy act nothing like themselves. In the novel, Peter Pan is arrogant, childish, mischievous, but also clever and daring, worthy of the respect of his peers. Universal's portrayal of Peter Pan captures this perfectly. He's lively and high-spirited, and despite his antics, he's still the person viewers root for throughout the movie. Disney's remake takes away all of Peter's admirable qualities and turns him into a sulky, unlikable antagonist. He doesn't have that same lively energy, and feels sort of flat overall.
For to die
would be an awfully big adventure.
To die will be an awfully big adventure.
The rescue scene best highlights the difference. In Universal's version, Peter rescues John, Michael, and Tiger Lily by imitating Captain Hook's voice, which tricks the pirates into setting the captives free.
I am James Hook, Captain of the Jolly Roger.
If you are Hook, then who am I?
You are a codfish.
In Disney's version, Peter disguises himself as a pirate, but his plan almost immediately fails.
You. What is your name? How long have you served on my ship?
He fights Captain Hook, but easily loses, so Wendy and Tiger Lily save everyone instead. Without Peter's redeemable qualities, it makes no sense why the Lost Boys, Tinkerbell, or Tiger Lily follow him as a leader. The movie takes away Peter's agency and makes him a passive character.
What is your name?
Wendy, Moira, Angela, Darling.
What's a Wendy?
I'm a Wendy. Wendy, Moira, Angela, Darling. And I am from London, England, where gentlemen do not harm children!
Wendy is also different. In the novel, Wendy is imaginative, caring, and motherly. Universal's version did an excellent job of portraying Wendy's kind, caring nature, while also showing more of her adventurous side. There are some changes, like having Wendy join in the fights, but these changes feel refreshing and natural since it shows her love of adventure and allows her to take part in the action. An important aspect of Wendy is that she loves telling stories, and this is emphasized several times throughout the 2003 film. Wendy's stories are the main reason Peter brought her to Neverland.
Peter, don't go!
I have to tell the others about Cinderella.
But I know lots of stories. Stories I could tell the boys.
Come with me.
In the remake, however, Wendy isn't a storyteller.
I thought you were just a bedtime story.
Why can't I be both? I like hearing stories about myself, and your mother's very good at telling them.
Now, the only reason Peter takes Wendy and her brothers to Neverland is because they don't want to grow up. And that is still a major incentive, but since it's the only incentive, it makes Wendy less special as protagonist. It feels like she's just another kid Peter picked up on his way home.
Were you expecting someone else?
We weren't expecting anyone at all.
I always act so surprised.
Like Peter, Wendy's also more angsty in the remake. At the start of the movie, Wendy sulks about having to go to boarding school and doesn't want to grow up. While growing up was always Wendy's major conflict, the film makes it hard to sympathize with her. She blames John and Michael for breaking a mirror and calls their game silly, which feels out of character. She's not cheerful or caring anymore either.
Wendy, why did you say that? Why did you say it was our fault? Well, you're a pirate, aren't you? It's every man for himself.
The remake completely rejects Wendy's motherly nature, which is a shame.
1, 2, 3. Please be our mother! Oh. Well, it is frightfully fascinating. Wendy can be our mother.
Goodness, no. I don't even know if I want to be a mother.
Wendy being the mother of the group was an excellent contrast to Tiger Lily, who's an established warrior, and Tinkerbell, who acts like a child. I guess the writers thought that Wendy wasn't feminist enough, so they decided to rip her character from the roots and turn her into a generic hero.
You have the boy's magic.
No, this magic belongs to no boy.
Disney's rewrite of Captain Hook falls into the trap of other live-action remakes. They try to make Hook a sympathetic villain. In this version, Hook was the first Lost Boy and he was Peter's best friend. That is, until Peter kicked him out of Neverland.
My once and best friend banished me, all because I missed mine.
Because of this, Hook wants vengeance against Peter. This backstory is supposed to humanize Hook, but it doesn't make him any more redeemable. In the same movie, Hook kills his own crewmates on a whim and tries to kill children several times. By the end of the film, the movie even implies that he's a good guy now. Personally, I don't think he needs redemption. Captain Hook is a memorable character because he's so callous and villainous. Universal's version perfectly embodies Captain Hook. Even his design resembles the animated movie more than the new one. The novel mentions that Hook was never more sinister than when he was most polite. He is so frightfully distinguished that Wendy is fascinated by him when they first meet. In other words, Captain Hook is a clever, intimidating person, in part because he has an air of refinement that sets him apart from the other pirates. Disney's remake of Hook is neither threatening nor clever. He looks washed out and tame.
No clocks.
That's it. Not due till 3 p.m. Check the time yourself, Captain, and then tell them. I was dreaming, Smee.
Universal's version is cunning and intimidating. He knows exactly how to manipulate people to get what he wants, and he knows exactly what to say to exploit others' weaknesses.
She was leaving you, Pam.
Your Wendy was leaving you. Why should she stay? What have you to offer? You are incomplete.
There's no in-depth backstory in Universal's adaptation, which only adds to the mystery and menacing nature of the character.
They did it.
The side characters feel more like props than people. The remake gave Tinkerbell her own subplot, but she was a more active presence in the 2003 film. In Universal's film, Tink's problem is that she's extremely jealous. She tricks the Lost Boys into shooting Wendy, which causes Peter to banish her, but she later selflessly sacrifices herself to save him. It shows the complexity of fairies, how they can be all bad in one moment, but all good in the next. In Disney's remake, Tink's problem is that no one listens to her. All she does in the movie is smile and give pixie dust.
Where's your... Not another move!
I didn't find the Lost Boys very likable in this version. They were overly rowdy, unruly, and most of their dialogue felt wooden.
Well, I'm a Wendy. The Wendy Peter went to find? The Wendy who knows the bedtime stories? Because if you don't know stories, then you're an imposter.
The Lost Boys in Universal's version are also rowdy and unruly, but they still try to be courteous at times. Their dialogue and interactions are especially entertaining to watch.
Hands. They're a bit dirty. She must stay here and die.
No!
How could I have thought that? Stupid. Sorry. I agree that they are perfectly horrid, but kill them and they shall think themselves important. So important and unique!
In the remake, it feels like the Lost Boys' main purpose is to deliver information.
Why is Captain Hook so hateful?
Because you grew up.
And grew up wrong.
But he's still the best swordsman.
Which also makes him the worst.
Which is why we need him to Peter.
Who we hate.
None of the children had distinct personalities, so they all blended together. The movie also added girls to the group, which is fine in my opinion, but it's still a shame because the novel already had a reason for not including any girls in the first place.
They're girls too.
Girls are much too clever to fall out of their prams.
Peter, it is perfectly lovely the way you talk about girls.
Hook was a friend of yours, wasn't he?
He was my best friend.
I know you weren't always like this, Captain Hook. I know you and Peter were friends.
Disney's remake does a lot of telling instead of showing. Peter and Hook's backstory is completely told through exposition instead of actual scenes. They tell us Peter and Hook were friends, but they don't show us any flashbacks to prove it. The movie places a lot of focus on Hook and Peter's friendship, but without any glimpse of the past, their relationship has no emotional weight. Other moments that could have been shown are told too. At the start of the movie, Universal shows glimpses of Peter watching Wendy before they meet, which creates intrigue. In the remake, Peter tells Wendy that he knows who she is because he watched her, but they never show him actually doing this. Any potentially interesting moments are glossed over. Any opportunities to heighten the drama are left out too. Similar to the novel, in Universal's film, Mr. and Mrs. Darling race home from a party to stop their kids from flying off. Wendy's conflicted about leaving, all while time runs out as her parents hurry back home. Not only is it dramatic and entertaining, but it sets up Wendy's character arc effectively. In Disney's remake, the departure is rushed. There's no stakes to Wendy leaving. There's no apprehension or internal conflict. She immediately agrees to go. Even the lighting makes a big difference in how the scenes play out. In the rescue scene, Universal uses dark, eerie lighting to make the atmosphere tense and ominous. It's fitting for a scene where pirates try to drown children. In Disney's remake, the lighting was surprisingly bright, even though most of the movie was dark. It lessens the dramatic factor when the scene could have been more threatening to show the real danger that John and Michael are in.
I should like to give you a kiss. Don't you know what a kiss is?
I shall know when you give me one.
What's a kiss?
You don't know what a kiss is?
No, but I think I need one.
But
For me, the most disappointing part of the remake was Peter and Wendy. For a movie titled Peter Pan and Wendy, they spend almost no time together. The little interactions they have are either stiff or hostile, and it doesn't feel like there's any real connection between them. The movie takes place over the span of a day, so it could be justified that they didn't have time to get to know each other here. But the animated version also takes place in one day, and even then Peter and Wendy seem closer. In the remake, they don't even feel like friends, despite the movie claiming that. They seem more like classmates that talk only because the teacher sat them beside each other. Universal's version puts a strong focus on Peter and Wendy's relationship, including the romantic aspects from the novel.
It's my kiss. My kiss saved her.
The movie takes place over a slightly longer length of time, which gives more opportunities to develop Peter and Wendy's relationship and solidify their bond. Their interactions are so sweet and endearing, and they have such great chemistry together. It leads to emotional, tender moments between Peter and Wendy, and creates interesting conflicts.
Why do you spoil everything? We have fun, don't we? I taught you to fight and to fly. What more could there be?
There is so much more.
What? What else is there?
Without this emphasis on Peter and Wendy, the new movie feels empty and hollow. Their departure isn't uplifting, like the movie frames it to be. Instead, the ending is underwhelming. I can't bring myself to care about the protagonists or what happens to them.
Will you come back?
To hear stories about me.
Maybe. Maybe I could still come back to listen to it sometimes.
stay.
I don't think I'm ready.
No, wait, Peter!
Peter Pan and Wendy is not the worst Disney remake by far. It's evident the creators were trying to bring a new interpretation to the story, but it just falls flat. The 2003 adaptation already captures the spirit of Peter Pan and incorporates new ideas that intensify the adventure and emotion. I will admit that I have nostalgia for the 2003 movie, so I am biased in that aspect. But for a story about growing up, I think it's fitting. Universal's Peter Pan is an uplifting movie. It takes us on an amazing journey that encourages us to grow up while still cherishing the memories of our childhood.
You won't forget me, will you?
Me? Forget? Never.
Thank you so much for watching. What did you think of the new Peter Pan movie? Did you like it? Dislike it? Let me know in the comments.